Hello, my name is Maddie, and I'm a solution focused hypnotherapist based at Old Town Hypnotherapy in Swindon. For anyone who's seen any of our previous vlogs, you'll know that it's normally Emma who sat here doing the vlogs. I've taken over doing the vlogs for Emma, so this is my first vlog, so bear with me. Hopefully, it'll all go smoothly. I'm sat in my garden because it's such a beautiful day. I've decided to do it outside today. The sky is blue and the sun is shining. I've decided to do my first vlog on change and our ability to change, the challenge of change actually, because it's not always easy. We know that to change is to alter or to modify or to do something differently. And our lives are regularly met with the challenge of it. Sometimes we purposefully choose a change. We might choose a new hairstyle or a new hobby or to engage on a new diet or something. And sometimes we're forced into that change. Maybe something like a redundancy or a relationship breakup, something that we didn't choose. And sometimes we welcome the change, sometimes we resent the change. But our brains are perfectly designed to adjust to the change, but they're also hardwired to reject it. See, we've all been through such a significant and unpredictable change throughout this last year. So many new rules and restrictions being placed on us all, often with very little notice and totally outside of our control. For some people, this has really been overwhelmingly tough to adapt to, and for others, not so much. It's been quite manageable. And exploring why the brain dislikes change can help us to understand what we can do to adapt more easily to it. Our brains are constantly analysing information from our surroundings and making a judgment as to how safe we are in that moment. And when we're going about our very normal, predictable daily routines, our brain pattern matches our behaviours, recognising, oh, we've done this before, this is safe, and it switches on the kind of autopilot in our brains. Just consider your morning routine. It no doubt follows a very similar pattern most days. Maybe something like getting up, having a coffee, having a shower, having breakfast, getting dressed, getting out for the day. It's a fairly set, ingrained pattern. These ingrained neural pathways are within your brain and they've been deemed safe. The brain is happy, ticking along in this kind of autopilot state. But our primitive mind, we often describe it as being at the back here, our primitive mind always remains vigilant and is always scanning the area for any kind of oddity, any kind of change. This part of our brain we inherited from our distant ancestors, and its job is to keep us alive and keep us safe. Imagine a caveman walking through the forest and he needs to be alert to any unusual change in his environment. A moving bush or a twig snapping may indicate some kind of danger. And our primitive mind is constantly scanning for errors in our pattern matching, keeping us safe and doing its job. When we deliberately change something in our lives, we enter the potentially dangerous world of the unknown. And it's no surprise that the primitive brain protests and resists this change. After all, our primitive mind is there to keep us alive, to keep us safe, and it has nothing, no pattern match for this change. No idea if this new behaviour is a safe thing to do. As we embark on our change, we have to switch out of our autopilot mode. And the prefrontal cortex, this bit at the front, our intellectual mind, has to take control. We're learning something new. And our prefrontal cortex is very fast, and it's very agile, and it's very capable of learning new things. But it uses significantly more energy than our autopilot brain mode. And the change, therefore, requires some effort. And if we become distracted or fatigued, our brain will attempt to slip us back into past patterns of behaviour. The easy, old, safe patterns of behaviour. As we practice the new behaviour, the new neural pathways are created within our brain, and with repetition, habits are created. Our brains are a bit like Play-Doh. I'm sure you've heard the term neuroplasticity, and we're capable of changing the structure of the brain as we learn. So how do we help this process to happen? Well, most importantly, we need to empty what we describe in clinic as our stress bucket. A metaphorical thing, we say we all have a stress bucket. And if you're having a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of worries, you're filling up your metaphorical stress bucket. And as we fill up our stress bucket, the vigilant primitive mind interprets this stress bucket filling up as a threat. The primitive mind takes control and switches on our survival mode, keeping us in this high alert state. And when we're in that high alert state, we're likely to feel either anxious or stressed or in a low mood. And they're all survival mechanisms, they're all survival modes the brain has ingrained within it to keep us safe. Trying to learn something new when we're in a survival mode is very tricky indeed. Your brain is preoccupied with keeping you alive, not with learning how to play the piano or whatever it might be. So emptying our stress buckets is paramount to being able to be in a healthy state to learn. We talk a lot about it in clinic, and to empty our stress buckets, we need to be engaging in mentally healthy behaviours. I'm sure Emma has done previous vlogs on this, so I'll touch on it briefly, but we're really talking about the 3 Ps, the 3 pillars of mental health, the 3 things we need to be doing to stay mentally healthy, to keep our buckets nice and empty. The first P is positive thinking, the second is positive activity, and the third is positive interaction. And we need to be sleeping well. They tend to come as a pair. So if we're doing the 3 Ps, then we're sleeping well. And if we're sleeping well, we're doing the 3 Ps. They work well together. If you're achieving the 3 Ps and you're sleeping well, you can learn and adapt pretty easily. So that's the first way we can help ourselves make a change, by doing the right things and keeping our brain healthy. But we also know that hypnosis and guided meditation help to speed things up. The trance state we achieve under these conditions is a state of learning, and our minds become open, they become receptive, and we have a heightened focus and concentration. New behaviours can become embedded, and new pathways can be created, facilitating the change. I don't know if you have any memory of being at school and being in a lesson and staring out the window, daydreaming out the window. Now, the daydream state is a similar state to hypnosis. It's a really healthy state for the brain to be in, actually. So when that child is staring out the window, daydreaming, what's actually happening is they're consolidating their learning. It's actually a really helpful place for the brain to be in. So it should be encouraged by teachers, not being told off. At Old Town Hypnotherapy, we use a combination of solution-focused therapy and hypnosis to help our clients achieve change. The solution-focused therapy part of the session helps the clients to really detail what it is they want to change, to focus their conscious mind on what they want to achieve. And the hypnosis part of the session helps the client embed that change into the subconscious. Both elements of the session helps the client empty their stress buckets, and change becomes easier, quicker. Thank you. As ever, we offer free consultations for anyone interested in hypnotherapy. We're also available to answer any queries you may have. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.